I put this together because I went out for a ride on the weekend and I was absolutely astonished at the number of cyclists I saw. And I'm talking about all types of cyclists except for mammals. Normally, when I go out on the weekend, what I see the most of is mammals racing around everywhere. This weekend, almost, 7%, not a lot. The problem with these statistics, though, that I've got here is I don't have anything to baseline them against. Unfortunately, I've thrown out all my video over the last couple of months of these types of rides. I usually only save it if there's an incident. So I can't go back to, say, January and look at exactly the same ride and count the number of cyclists. But I do this all the time, and I couldn't believe how many were out, and people walking as well. There were a huge number of pedestrians. So let's just go through the numbers and have a look. And yes, there were mammals out there, but they're all riding individually. All the group rides are off at the moment. Blokes, there were 66 blokes out there, and by blokes I mean men riding casually, either on their own or with someone else, either their wife or a friend or something. No kids. And they're not in lycra, they're not riding a racing bike, all that kind of stuff. They don't have the mammal look about them. Similarly, for ladies, there were 21 that were just pottering around on their own or with another bloke. And then we get to the mums and dads. And there were quite a few family groups out there. In fact, kids made up 27% of all the cyclists I saw. They were the largest group overall. Some of them were out on their own. There was this pack of 6 kids I saw crossing the road to go to a park on their own. No adults. Oldest was maybe 10 years old. But mainly they were there with mum or dad or both. Then shopping. Was the bike set up for shopping? And I saw some people had stuff in shopping baskets, some people had panniers, some had shopping bags slung over their shoulders, etc. And they were out on their own or with someone else, and it appeared they may have done some shopping along the way. I don't know. 9% were not wearing a helmet. And the 24 people, I didn't split them up by sex, but maybe a quarter to a third were women and the rest were men. And this is, I would think, a much higher percentage than what I would normally see. Clearly, with the coronavirus that's going on at the moment, people they've got bigger things to worry about. I actually saw a bloke riding around the bay on the road, no helmet, with a police car following him, and 2 months ago they would have pulled him over and fined him. They didn't care. They had bigger fish to fry. So the kind of minor infringements just don't seem to be getting looked at the moment. And I think the reason for the large number of people with no helmet is a lot of people have decided to jump on their bikes at the moment for whatever reason, and they don't have a helmet, or they don't normally wear a helmet. I don't know. There was only one idiot, and by that I mean I was down on the Cooks River and this bloke came screaming around a corner like his hair was on fire. No helmet. There's lots of people on the path. He was ducking and weaving in amongst them, clearly riding way too fast for the conditions. But he was the only one. I did see one Uber cyclist, the poor bugger. He was on the side of the road getting treated by a couple of ambulance people. He obviously had a crash of some sort. I couldn't actually see if he was a motorcycle Uberist or a cycle Uber delivery driver, because whatever they were riding was on the other side of the ambulance, on the other side of the road. All I could see was he was sitting down on the road with his Uber delivery backpack on and getting treated for some kind of crash. Anyway, let's have a look. Now the total number here doesn't actually match the total number of cyclists, because some people fall into several categories. So for instance, people with a shopping basket might have been a mum or a dad or a bloke or a lady, not a mammal. People not wearing helmets could have been mums, dads, kids, whatever. So here we go. Let's have a look at the very large number of cyclists I saw in just a simple 2-hour Sunday ride.